2, 1.
Good morning, everyone. It's Monday. What day is it?
It is Monday.
Yeah, but March 21st.
Yes.
Good morning. Welcome to KSAT News Now. It's already a busy morning as people get back to work and back to school from spring break.
Yep.
Hopefully everyone had a good weekend, a good break.
Yeah, definitely. And as we just said, there's a lot that we're getting into this morning, including a developing international story after a plane crashes in China.
Plus, Ukrainian forces refusing to surrender as the bombings in those cities continue. And there was a plan here in the States to get some relief at the pump, but that was scrapped. We'll explain why.
Also happening right now, the start of the Supreme Court Justice Confirmation hearings for Ketanji Brown Jackson, and you can watch that live on KSAT.com as well.
But the big story here locally, weather, we talked about it all weekend. It was a beautiful weekend and things definitely look different this morning. We're going to bring in Sarah Spivey, meteorologist. Good morning.
Hey guys, good
Sarah.
morning. And you know, actually a lot of people joining us KSAT News Now on the Weather Authority app as we speak, because we wanted to give you an app cast, what we call an app cast, where we do a forecast right on the Weather Authority app. So if you're joining us on the Weather Authority app right now, you'll hear some news after this from KSAT News Now as well. But first, let's focus on the weather, as today could be a very active severe weather day, especially for folks along and east of 281. We've already had some weather this morning. Take a look outside. We've got cloud cover. We've got even some light rain showers. The roads are damp, but as a whole, most of the rain has come to an end. It's 70 degrees outside right now, and boy, is it windy. Winds are from the southeast, gusting up to 32 miles per hour. That is pumping in Gulf of Mexico moisture, which is the ingredient, one of the ingredients for the potential for severe weather, again, along and east of 281 today. Take a look at the radar over the last 6 hours. We've had scattered light rain showers throughout the morning. As far as the airport goes, we've seen about 0.2 of an inch of rain, but as you can see, this has generally come to an end. So over the next 12 hours, I want to walk you through what we can expect here in San Antonio, your KSAT 12-hour forecast. So we're going to see a break from the rain here over the next couple of hours, even some sunshine. Now, sunshine is another ingredient for severe weather, which may seem counterintuitive, but the warming of the atmosphere, that sun, really acts as one of the ingredients for severe weather. And so we're going to see that sun, peaks of sunshine here from about 1 p.m. through about 4 p.m. and temperatures will rise into the 80s. Notice that winds are going to stay windy all day from the south at about 20 miles per hour at times. Then let's transition into the middle of the afternoon and into the evening. Notice how storm chances really ramp up, and it is this time frame that we are going to need to watch carefully for severe weather, mainly again along and east of 281. So the eastern half of Bexar County up toward New Braunfels, out towards Seguin, those areas we need to watch very carefully. Notice that there's a 60% chance for scattered severe thunderstorms from 4 p.m. until 8 p.m. and then after 8 p.m. we're going to see the rain push to the east and out of San Antonio. So that time frame, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., that is not an ideal time frame. That's when a lot of people are driving home, picking up kids, trying to end their workday. And keep in mind that that's when the severe weather risk will be the greatest. But let's get into the details here. I remember how I mentioned that sunshine was one of the ingredients for severe weather. This is a look at the satellite, and you can still see that it's very cloudy around San Antonio. But as we zoom out, there are starting to be some peaks of sunshine off to the west, even south of San Antonio toward Cotulla, seeing some sunshine there as well. So a little bit of that fuel, that sunshine fuel, is possible this afternoon. A wider view here, and you can see our storm maker. This dry line is our storm maker. It is another one of the ingredients that we will see that will aid in severe weather development. Now, the dry line, I'll be honest with you all, is quite finicky, okay? It often moves to the east, and as soon as it moves off to the east and interacts with this very rich Gulf of Mexico moisture, along that dry line is where we see those very strong and severe thunderstorms often develop. But if you end up west of the dry line with the dry air, you see no rain whatsoever. So let me take you through the high-res futurecast. This is 3 p.m. this afternoon. Notice that that dry line has approached San Antonio at this time. Notice that some storms are likely going to pop up along 281 at 3 p.m. So again, 4 to 8 p.m. is the time frame we're looking at. This is about the time that, we start heading out to pick up kids from school or any kind of like extracurricular activities in the afternoon. We're going to start to see some storms develop there along 281. And then those, once they get going, will rapidly become severe. Let me take you ahead a couple more hours. This is 5 p.m. Notice that this particular forecast model creates the heavy thunderstorms right along 35. Those severe thunderstorms right along 35 at 5 p.m., the peak of rush hour. So this is why we're going to have to be very careful. Before you head out today, make sure to check on the KSAT Weather Authority app. It has a radar on it. Make sure that you're not under a severe thunderstorm or a tornado warning, because these are the times that we're going to have to watch out for, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., right around the time of rush hour. Another thing to note is that this is a forecast model. It's predicting where it thinks the storms could be, but this heavy severe thunderstorm could be a little further south toward New Braunfels. It could be even a little further south towards Seguin. We're going to have to be watching the radar and tracking these storms as they develop. But of course, we'll do so right to your phone on the KSAT Weather Authority app, on air and online. So we have got you covered. These storms that develop, because as I mentioned, the dry line is finicky and very powerful this time of year, these severe storms are going to be capable of producing all kinds of severe weather, from hail to, yes, even tornadoes. So we're going to have to watch this very carefully. Then as we head later into the afternoon and into the evening, the severe thunderstorms will be pushing off to the east. So our eastern communities of Gonzales, Hallettsville, and again, it could be in Guadalupe County still at this time at 6 p.m., need to be on alert for severe weather. The storms will likely be done around San Antonio as we head into the evening hours, but still some severe weather and some flooding is possible across our coastal communities in the evening hours. But by late tonight, the rain and storm threat will be over for San Antonio. I like this graphic because this graphic shows where the most amount of severe storms are possible. This deep red color that you see here shows that numerous severe thunderstorms are possible for areas like New Braunfels, Seguin, Gonzales, Floresville, and points off to the west and to the north, so up toward Bryan College Station. Remember how I mentioned that along and east of 281, that is the greatest chance for severe weather? This graphic shows that perfectly. There's 281, and along and east of that, that's where numerous severe thunderstorms are possible. If that dry line, it moves a little bit further to the west and stalls out there and sparks off some thunderstorms in these areas, then central Bexar County would also, and western Bexar County would also be in a risk for some scattered severe thunderstorms. So as I said, this is an evolving forecast that you're going to want to keep up to date with throughout the day on the app, online, on air. The storm threats with any severe storms that develop. If you get a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning, these would be the things that we would need to be watching out for. So hail about the size of limes or lemons is possible, so 2-inch hail. And yes, even a tornado is possible with wind gusts of up to 60+ miles per hour. One thing we're not worried about or concerned about in San Antonio is the possibility for flooding. That is very unlikely. So at some point today, I think in San Antonio, we're going to be under either a severe thunderstorm watch or a severe thunderstorm or a tornado watch. So what is the difference between a watch and a warning? All right, a watch is a step below a warning, okay? A watch means that we're monitoring for the possibility of severe weather. But if you get a warning means that severe weather is happening and you should take action immediately. If you get a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning, the best place for you to be, inside, away from windows, on the lowest floor of your house possible, in the most interior room until that warning is expired. Well, as we just said, you know, the time frame is 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. So the best thing you can do is to look before you go anywhere if there are storms, if there are warnings. But if you happen to be out and about at the time that you get a severe thunderstorm warning, find a way to get inside, whether that be a gas station or something like that. The worst thing possible you can do is stop under an overpass because that causes traffic issues. So keep that in mind. Again, a watch, we're probably going to be under a watch at some point today. But a watch is a step below a warning, and if you get a warning, you should take action immediately to seek shelter. I just want to reiterate the time frame that we're looking here. 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Severe storms are possible, especially along and east of 281. All right. After today's storm chance, it is going to be quiet in the forecast for the remainder of the week. There will be high fire danger because of the windy and breezy conditions, but otherwise, you know, this is our one chance for rain this week. Unfortunately, though, it does come with the potential for some severe storms. I do want to mention that if you're joining us on the KSAT Weather Authority app, as I end this forecast, you're going to hear RJ and Alicia talk about some news. That's because we're in the middle of our all-digital newscast that airs every day. It's called KSAT News Now. So Alicia and RJ, I know you also have some weather stories that you're going to talk about too, but I just wanted to remind everyone on the app that they're watching KSAT News Now.
Thank you so much, Sarah. So we want to get to the outages affecting right now our area. We know the southwest side, according to CPS. So this is going to be more of the Port San Antonio area. There's 17 active outages, and this is affecting more than 1,000 customers right now. On the north side, near Morgan's Wonderland area, that's where you see the most affected at this current time. 22 active outages there, affecting nearly 2,700 customers.
Yeah, and in total right now, we're looking at over 10,361 total customers affected right now. And this number has been going back up and down as the morning has gone along. So for the entire San Antonio area, 109 active outages this morning. As Alicia just mentioned, there are certainly areas that are feeling a lot more of this right now at the moment.
You can just imagine how busy the San Antonio Fire Department as well as CPS Energy crews have been this morning, responding again to more than a dozen electrical fire calls due to the weather. Firefighters explained that it's a result of not having a lot of recent rain, old dried up electrical poles, and then of course you add that wind factor from last night. It's causing, quote, tops of the utility poles to snap and catch fire.
We've been through a little bit of a dry spell, and then we had the wind come in, and it's been the dust that accumulates over several months, and then you get that little bit of moisture. We'll see a lot of arcing wires.
And that right there was SAFD Lieutenant Edward Olmo discussing these latest developments this morning with the weather. So the electrical fires sometimes result in a transformer blowing. We've seen that as well in the past. And these power outages, CPS Energy crews are working to repair the poles and those down lines this morning.
So actually some of the local schools here were affected. We reached out to SST Alamo. Let me get the actual name of their school. School of Science and Technology Alamo. And they did confirm to me that there were 2 power outages that it really affected the morning bulk, but thankfully it didn't change the kids' routines, and specifically what the worry there is with the kitchen, right? Breakfast and lunchtime. So
absolutely.
Thankfully they're all back to normal.
Yeah, and we will continue to follow this again right now as we are speaking. 109 active outages across the San Antonio area. This is what CPS is reporting, with more than 10,300 total customers affected.
The big thing today, you want to make sure you have your Weather Authority app throughout today. You can stay ahead of the storm and check that live radar straight from your phone. You'll also get any important notifications from our meteorologists, the Weather Authority team, if severe weather does start to pop up in our area. And the great part, it's totally free.
Absolutely, yes. So moving on to some international news this morning out of China. A major search and rescue effort is underway right now after a plane crashed in southern China with more than 130 people on board.
Such a tough situation. And according to China's Civil Aviation Administration, a plane with China Eastern Airlines was carrying 123 passengers and then 9 crew members, and it crashed into the mountains. The plane plunged more than 25,000 feet in less than 2 minutes. I cannot imagine the horror.
Horrifying stuff there, yes. In a statement, the airline announced it dispatched a team to the scene and is offering emergency assistance to family members.
So the state media outlet People's Daily, they shared a video where you can actually see plumes of smoke coming from that mountainous forested area, and then another clip shows wreckage from the plane, and it's on a muddy mountain path. So you can just imagine that this is going to make it difficult for crews, emergency crews, to get to that area. Again, right now it's search and rescue.
Absolutely, and a lot of that area there, mountainous regions as well. And we talked about just the immediate descent. I think earlier CNN was reporting that there were witnesses that saw the plane actually go down. They said there wasn't any smoke coming from the plane, but they saw the crash, and within minutes it descended from the air to the ground. I mean, it is a horrifying, very sad story.
And then as with that story, still no, of course, this just happened, so no confirmation, no really preliminary information on what may have caused that plane to plummet down. But now let's move on to Ukraine, where officials there are strongly rejecting a demand from Russia to put down their weapons and raise white flags in exchange for people in Mariupol to get out safely.
That's right. Mariupol has seen some of the worst horrors of this war. It's been under Russian attacks and bombings for more than 3 weeks, and officials there said at least 2,300 people have died.
Hours before Russia's offer to open corridors out of the city, an art school where more than 400 people were taking shelter was hit over the weekend by yet another airstrike. But Ukrainian officials said there will be no discussions about a surrender to the Russian military.
That's right, holding strong there. Ukrainian and Western officials have called the attacks on this city a war crime.
All right, in Rome, some of the youngest Ukrainian war refugees that have been hospitalized received a very special visit over the weekend, and that was from Pope Francis. He made a surprise visit on Saturday to a pediatric hospital there in Rome.
The Vatican released several pictures of the visit where Pope Francis visited with 19 Ukrainian children treated for serious war injuries caused by the explosions or for cancer or neurological conditions.
The Pope also thanked hospital staff for caring for the Ukrainian children and their families. About 50 kids from Ukraine have been treated at this particular hospital in Rome since the war began. So you can just imagine how special it is, of course, for the kids, but also for the families.
Absolutely. And again, there's so many different people that are being affected by this. And obviously there's refugees that are now spreading out throughout parts of Europe. So the Pope reaching out there was something good and something positive for these children, but still it's a very tough situation there.
And you see the Pope on some of those pictures giving the blessing, the sign of the cross for the kids. So a very special moment there. All right, coming back to the States.
Absolutely.
Free gas cards from the government. Well, not so fast.
No. Bummer.
This idea, very short-lived, but did you know that the White House actually considered sending gas cards to family as a way of lessening the blow at the pumps? But eventually it was decided that this is a no-go, it's not feasible.
What happened here? Okay, so the worry was that these gas cards wouldn't work because of execution issues and concerns over fraud, including theft. There's also strong opposition from congressional committees. A House Democratic counsel added that this would be an expensive and slow process, and it actually would worsen inflation.
Yeah, so according to AAA, the current national average for regular gas is $4.25. Here in San Antonio, that average is about $3.88. Still a lot.
Yes.
And it's forecasted that these gas prices will remain through the middle of the year, so this is an issue we'll see brought up a lot during midterm campaigns and elections. And so another reason that these committees were like, absolutely not, is because the cards were going to be sent or had to be sent through the IRS. And the worry with that was that it would delay the tax returns for people. So just oversaturation with what the IRS needed to do, especially in this tax season time.
Right, and it reminded me a little bit of the stimulus checks that we got during the height of the pandemic there. So that was my thought process, was like, well, this would be kind of similar to that, but obviously that will not be the case now. Gas prices that we've seen there gone down just a little bit over the weekend. I was like, I have to fill up 10 cents less. I was like, I gotta do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I filled up midweek. And
Yeah,
I haven't
we were at
been using my car
$3.99.
much. So
We were like at $3.99 about a week ago. So we're back to $3.88 locally. So I was like, I gotta take advantage, run to the gas pump. But
I was thinking more about how this would even play out. Like, how do you choose the gas station, right? The company is Shell, QT, do they all, I mean, Buc-ee's, like, how do you even make sure that people are using these gas cards. So anyways,
That's true.
that idea thrown out the window, not happening.
Yeah, bummer. So hopefully these prices will start to drop a little bit more. And again, this will be definitely a key talking point as we get ready for the elections coming up. And so, yeah,
So
it's a pretty busy
today,
start.
the big story, of course, is weather. We've been talking about it really all weekend. We have some comments on Facebook. We have Roland saying, "Be safe, everyone, with weather." There was a really awesome comment here from Susan Paul. I believe it was her. She said, "Thank you, Sarah. You explained the weather so well. Our just entire team of meteorologists has done always a phenomenal job, and they keep us updated." So again, download that Weather Authority app. If you're watching us, great. We're so happy to hear that. But there is going to be a lot of coverage today, and that's what we're getting prepped for.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy couple of hours coming up here, and as Sarah mentioned, during especially that sort of rush hour commute when maybe people are picking up their kids and also heading home from work. So just be careful with that weather if you're planning to be outdoors. Spring, wow, what a way to bring in spring. We know that it's always a little kind of crazy in the weather department with spring, a lot of different weather patterns. So we are bringing in spring in a big way here.
I was going to say, it's our first taste of spring. Edwin Gordon here asked, "Is the wind going to calm down soon?" Gordon, no. That is the issue here. So,
well, thanks, Edwin, for joining in. Hopefully you got
sadly. But the big thing is we want people to stay safe out there. Also thinking about those crews. If you see crews working on any area, we're talking about CPS, energy crews. Be safe, move over, slow down, be respectful, and also give yourself enough time for your afternoon commute. Again, that big window, 4 to 8 p.m. for a chance for severe weather.
That's right.
Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys.
Yeah, and we will see you back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Have a great day and stay safe out there today.